Hello, magical people, and welcome to my channel. My name is Lou, and today I'm going to be doing a reading about blocks. So this one is a little bit personal. I have been deep in my feelings for the last little bit, on and off, and I kept being called to meditate, but not in my regular way, but more to journey. And I kept being resistant to that because I was in my feels. And sometimes when that happens, it's a little bit difficult for me to get distance from my actual experience in the moment. And sometimes you need a little bit of distance in order to get into the space, the liminal space, I guess, required for journeying. So anyhow, I was resistant. Finally got around to it today, and it was very interesting. I, at one point, just kept thinking, almost like it was a little jingle, bring me where I need to be, show me what I need to see, in the name of the light, blessed be, blessed be. And it just kind of popped into my head and repeated a few times. And then the scenery changed, and I was standing on a cliff with one of my guides, who is it doesn't matter who they are. That's a story for a different day. One of my guides was there, and I was standing on a small ledge, looking towards the cliff face. So just pretty much a big, craggy sort of face of rock right in front of me, and there was a knowing and a kind of seeing that there was a plateau behind me, just a wide, expansive, open space, but I didn't turn around to look. And my guide said, no, you have to go deeper. And the scenery changed, and I was in a space, and I could again feel what was behind me more than really see it. And what I could feel behind me was a rich forest with lots going on. But what was in front of me was just a big, impenetrable door. And again, I got the message that I needed to go deeper. And then finally, I was able to get the distance that I need, which is that there is something blocking me, and that that is kind of keeping me a little bit stuck. And with that knowledge also came the very clear message that this was something that I should look at in a reading, and that there was medicine for me and medicine for other people as well. So that is what this reading is. It is a singular reading for the collective. Take what resonates, leave the rest, and my hope is that there is some medicine in here for you as well. So what we are going to be looking at are 4 things. What is the nature of this block? What is this block trying to show you and me? What's on the other side of this block? And advice from our guides for moving through, under, over, or around this block. So, I have not practiced this reading at all. This is a side of shuffling the cards and writing down the questions after I was done meditating. This is going to be an experiment. So, to start off with, I also got the message that I should just get 1 card to start with for each thing, and maybe some oracle cards as well, and then kind of talk for a little bit, see what comes out, and see if we need a clarifier. So, what is the nature of this block? The 2 of Cups. The nature of this block is love and deep intimacy. And whether that is because it is unrequited love, or healing from a broken heart because of love, the 2 of Cups here, that space of a deep, deep heart connection, is the nature of this block. I think I'm also going to pull an oracle card for further messaging about that. What is the nature of this block? Getting heaven on earth. It's happening. Or creating heaven on earth. My eyes are a little teary and now I can't quite see. So creating heaven on earth. The nature of this block has to do with healing your heart space and finding a way to move forward from it. Trying to find a way to understand what heaven means to you and then go about and creating it. And also there's a secondary message in here too with the it's happening. There's also a validation and a reassurance that the work is already being done. That even though it feels like the stuckness may be very, very real, that's not the entirety of the truth. A lot of that may have to do with the judgment around the speed in which one is moving, but nothing about life is typically actually static. That's just our perception of it. So let's see, what is this block trying to show us? What is this block trying to show us? Just one card for what is this block trying to show us. And 2 cards came out. Damn, folks, if I make it through all of this without completely breaking down into tears, it'll be a shocker. So, what is this block trying to show us? It is trying to show us how to move forward, remaining open and keeping our heart space open even as we recalibrate after a falling of the tower. Even as we pick up the pieces, finding that the marriage of the divine masculine and feminine could be part of it, sort of marrying that notion of being receptive to information and being able to transform that information into dynamic action. This could also be, for some of you, about a partnership. This block is trying to show you about a partnership that you have had or that you're not allowing to yourself. This could also be with a relation to yourself. But regardless, this goes back to the Tower card and that feeling of distress and that like everything is falling down around you and there's just no safe room to retreat to because it's just all fucking tumbling down. It's just all tumbling down. Okay, so let's pull an oracle card for that as well. What is this block trying to show us? What is this block trying to show us? Inner temple, devotion, tune into the portal of your heart. So a lot of heart energy showing up already. We are being invited to see the pain in our heart and recognize it and try and bring balance and healing to it and keep it open for other partnerships, whether romantic or not. This is more just about a general keeping your heart space open. It could have to do with a partnership, but it could also just be about keeping your heart space open. Let's pull what is on the other side of this block. What is on the other side of this block for us? We have here the 3 of Spells, the 3 of Wands. Being able to move forward, having a new perspective, really getting a sort of bird's eye view of the world and life as it stretches out about us, and the sort of knowing, the intuitive, creative knowing that comes from having that perspective and being able to, once we have that perspective, see far enough with enough clarity that we can plot our next actual moves. Gonna pull out an oracle card for that one as well. Oracle card for what's on the other side of this block. Warrior woman. Have you answered your deepest calling? Strength is on the other side of this, knowing that you can endure, that it's worth it to endure, and that all of the struggle and the difficulty and the strain and the sadness, stress, frustration, chaos, that all of it is going towards filling out your tool belt and your bag of skills and your bag of life hacks and understanding and wisdom. Now, before I go to advice, I'm actually going to pull clarifiers for all of the 3 things that we've looked at so far. So if we could get a clarifier for the 2 of Visions as to what is the nature of this block. Some more detail here. And we have the 2 of Swords. Gosh. That space of knowing that you have to make a definitive choice, but not feeling like you have the mental clarity to be able to make that choice. So there is a feeling of, with the nature of this block, there's this heartbrokenness, this 2 of Cups that has caused this block, this love, which, isn't that amazing? Isn't that just, sometimes I really do believe that love is the only energy in the world, in the universe, in existence, and that everything can be measured by the type of love, whether it is a high quality of love or a low quality of love, or not high or low quality, just purity. And it's just funny that that love can be the thing that frees you, and can be the only thing really, I guess, in a way, that can unbind your wings and let you fly, but it's also the thing that can keep you bound in a way. I'm not sure what more to say about that. But let's pull an animal oracle card for further clarification on the nature of this block. And we have the moth spirit telling us that we need to surrender now. Yeah, and I feel like that is true. What we need to do is we need to just put down our swords and recognize that it's less about a decision being made. It's more about the nature of our defenses and how our defenses keep us sometimes from experiencing uncomfortable or painful truths, and that if we can surrender to what we're actually feeling, even if it's negative, even if it's hard to work through, rather than keeping ourselves stuck in it, then we'll be more able to navigate it. It's that energy of non-resistance. It's the energy of non-resistance. So what is this block trying to show us? And we had the Lover's card and the Tower come out. So in addition to inviting us to keep our heart space open, even amidst the turmoil and the heartbreak and the chaos, what's a clarifier for what this block is trying to show us? And we have the Page of Pentacles, a new way of being, a new way of existing in the world and doing things differently. So we are being invited to grow. We are being invited to change and to level up in a way and incorporate these negative experiences into, like I think I already said it, like just, incorporate that into our tool belt so that it can inform the decisions that we make going forward in the real world, in the way that we choose our actions and things that we decide to go after, and the new things that we decide to go after. So we are being invited to be in a place of non-resistance and to see that this block is trying to show us how to be, you know, how to be the new version of ourselves that exists after our tower has fallen down around us. It's like there's a reinvention in a way. And we also have the cat spirit claiming your independence. And so, yeah, there is a, you know, that this block is trying to show us that we are capable. And it's trying to show us, the ways in which we are capable, in which we can be self-reliant. I feel like along with this card is coming along a lot of that, like, Nine of Pentacles energy, that like, blissfully self-reliant, like, knowing that you can take care of yourself, knowing your worth, knowing how capable you are. You know, I feel like there's a lot of that energy there. So now for what is on the other side of this block, outside of the Three of Spells, outside of having a bit more agency and autonomy in our creative space to have perspective so that we can plan our course going forward and so that we can put our boats out to sea and bring more light into the world around us. What is a clarifier for that? And we have the Wheel of Fortune, taking your chances. And also knowing that our luck is about to change, that something good is coming through for us. And that if we can just let ourselves be in a place of receiving that change of fortune, that good luck, then it's right there just waiting for us to claim it. And an animal oracle for what is on the other side of this block. An animal oracle for what is on the other side of this block. And I actually feel like that one too, so we're going to take two of those. So we have both, the stag spirit taking the lead. So being in a place where we are in leadership of our own life, where once we have that perspective shift and that additional clarity, and we take a chance on things and allow our luck and our chance to change in the other direction, then that will also give us the energy to take the lead on living our own life. And also this will teach us more about how to be here now. Because if we can move through the difficult times and be with ourselves, even when it's shit, even when it sucks, even when it's just really, really challenging, then well, hell, if we can learn to stay present in those moments, then of course, much like the hummingbird, we can be present to the moments filled with sweet, sweet nectar as well. So that is a pretty amazing gift. I'm not going to lie. I'm feeling a bit better for having done this reading so far. So now we're going to look for advice for moving through the block. And I'm going to pull a card or two, or whatever comes out from each of the 4 decks that I've already touched. So we'll see what kind of convoluted message comes in here. So some cards from our guides for advice for moving through this block. Moving through this block so that we can claim our gifts of perspective, our gifts of luck, our gifts of being in leadership of our own life and being present to our own life, all of it. What is some advice for moving through that block? And we have one, the 8 of Spells, you know, communicating. Just keep putting energy into it and talking with people, allowing things to move, keep doing things, keep almost like moving the pieces of it's a really interesting picture that just popped into my mind. It's that notion of when you're putting together a jigsaw puzzle, and sometimes you just need to move a bunch of pieces around, even if you're pretty sure that the ones that go together, just sometimes moving them around and keeping them moving will allow your eyes to pick up patterns that you weren't seeing just by everything being static. So we are being invited to you know, bring movement and to call on call on the owls. That's the message that came through, is to call on the owls, because they can share their clarity and wisdom with us. So another card for advice for moving through this block. Advice for moving through this block. We also have the Three of Pentacles, just making your soup and putting it out there. And just keep doing the work. Just keep making the soup. Keep trying out your new recipes and making notes on things as they need to be tweaked. You know, these obviously can show up in a myriad of ways. This is just the map, not the territory. But, you know, I feel like, again, you know, maybe we're also being called on to write, and to write some of these thoughts out and journal. So even if you're not talking to other people, this you know, Eight of Wands card, if you're not using that to communicate with people, then, you know, use it to communicate with yourself. So, you know, there's definitely this feeling of just keep putting in the work, just keep showing up day after day, and the soup will get better as you become more practiced with making it. The soup being your life, of course, in case that metaphor wasn't absolutely clear. And just by showing up day after day, we get more mastery, we get more wisdom. So just keep showing up, friends. Just keep showing up. We also have here the Three of Cups. Pardon me. Remembering to reach out to people close to us for support. And this is one that I struggle with. I am much better at being a support for people than for allowing people to support me. And maybe that's a struggle you have too. And maybe that's why this card is coming out, is to remind us again that this is an option that we should take to heart. Is that we do have family, friends, community. In some way, there is someone for us that we can reach out to who can be a support. And even if we're not talking to them directly about the things that are troubling us, then just reaching out to another person for the purpose of connecting can often be a healing in and of itself. And even this indirect way that you and I are connecting right now is a healing. It's a healing for me, and I hope for you as well. So another card here, if there is, for advice for moving through the block. Oh, there we go. And that is the Page of Wands. Okay. You know, yeah, accepting, like trying something a little bit new, letting our creative self and our intuitive self look into the distance a little bit and get a little bit of a stage time. So, you know, if there's something that you have been finding yourself thinking about or curious about or wanting to do, particularly if it's in a creative pursuit or an intuitive pursuit in some way, or just something that resonates with you in some way, then, you know, you're being invited to look into that a little bit more, because that might be the way that you can move through the things that are blocking you. I'm going to pull some oracle cards. Actually, I want to pull it from this deck first. This is an oracle card for advice for moving through the block. Advice for moving through the block. Oh, and 3 came out. Okay. Star Mother, how can you mother yourself? So, excellent card to come out in this. We are being reminded that, you know, part of the task of being an adult is to learn how to parent yourself, even if you're not parenting another human being. Oftentimes we have to reparent ourselves, and, you know, ways that we can nurture ourselves. So the more that we can nurture ourselves, and the more that we can really show up and be the ideal mother for ourselves, the more we will just move through this block, because I feel like this block comes from so much from a place of being in resistance, so much from a place of being just deeply, deeply hurt to the point where everything just feels rather devastated around you in a way. And, you know, that all speaks of just needing love, just needing so much love thrown at you, at the situation. Just, you know, where's the best place that we can get that love is from ourselves. Because if we can keep our own cup full, if we can get our own cup to be full and learn how to keep it full, then that will just build momentum. It will just build momentum for us. We also have the Great Gathering. It's all coming together, intuitive hits, and soul tribe. So again, I feel like kind of like that Three of Cups, we're being invited to reach out to our soulkin. You know, those people, they maybe are your family of origin, maybe they're not. But we're being invited to know that those people are there and that more are coming towards us, that more people in our soul tribe are coming towards us. So being on the lookout for that. You know, it does often seem that when we are in our times of greatest challenge, that is when guides and messages show up for us. It may be through another person. It may be a one-time momentary interaction, or it may be a new person that you've met, or something that you've learned about somebody that you already know that helps to bring those messages in. But it does seem as though when we are in our deepest challenges, that is, if we can keep our ears and our hearts and our minds open to it, then that is often when Spirit will start sending guides to us, is when we need them. We also have Priestess. How are you being called to step up and lead? And I think that's so interesting because we have the Stag, which is divine masculine energy, inviting us to take the lead. And then we also have the Priestess, which is divine feminine energy, inviting us to take the lead. So yeah, I think another secondary message that's coming from this is that as far as advice for moving through the block, I think we are also being invited to deepen our spiritual practices, whatever they may be and whatever shape they may take. We are being invited to deepen that practice and solidify those bonds a little bit more. I feel like I should take one more card from one more deck to send us on our way. And which we're going to take it from the Mystical Shaman Oracle deck. And just to see what we see. This is not one that I pre-shuffled. Like I said, not a whole lot of planning. That was done prior to. I appreciate you willing to go with me on this journey. You are magical people indeed. Okay, so one final card. Advice for moving through this block. Something to send us on our way with. Oh, I just realized that there was one card that I didn't even pick up. So I guess we will end up with two. That one. Yes. We have the Arrow and Flow, which is a really beautiful message. We are being advised by our guides that if we can be in that place, even if it's just momentarily, if we can be in that place of flow, if we can remember what that place of flow feels like, if we can again be in that place of non-resistance, then like a bullseye, we will get the clarity to see or know exactly where we want to go. I'm also going to read from the book on those two because I feel like the book always has wonderful things to say. So let's start with the Arrow. The arrow. Receiving this symbol reminds you that when you are in alignment with your heart and soul, you are on target and will soon be hitting your mark. Be true to your calling, release attachments, and free yourself from the bondage of unbridled ambition. Now is revealed to be a moment of contact in which your intention meets the material world. The arrow also symbolizes the need to set your creativity free. Oh, that's so funny, bringing back that page of Wands energy. The invitation. When the arrow zings through the air, it is inviting you to pay attention and signifying that you are about to make your mark in some aspect of your life. It illuminates the moment of contact when you know that your desires and intentions have traveled on the wind and landed in the perfect place for your highest good. Trust that your job is to be relaxed yet focused, keeping your eye on the prize yet releasing your intention with full expectation that it will land as it's supposed to. Don't worry about the how or the exact form. This is not a time to interfere with the manner in which the arrow flies. It will make its mark, and you will have cause to celebrate. I really love that. I'm really glad that I was called to do this reading for us, folks. Okay, and flow. I guess I could have been holding the card up so that you weren't just looking at me look down at a book. The essence. There is natural movement of events in the world. You can see it in phenomena such as the tide, the ebb and flow of oceans and rivers that rises up from the earth, then flow to the sea. The symbol of flow represents the effortless and natural movement towards a certain destination. It signifies an ability to gracefully move around obstacles and reminds you of the sense of allowing. Damn. When flow comes to visit, it's a sign that your intentions have been in motion. Now is the time to allow nature to run its course. You are being called to effortless movements and the path of least resistance. It's like being within music, flowing within partnership. Think of the artist who creates without guile or craft, calling creativity up from the soul and bringing it to life without effort. You are called to be like a river, knowing the fulfillment of destiny is assured. Enjoy the ride. I think that is a beautiful place to end it, my friends. This block that we are working through that has been brought to us by love, or the lack of it, or love lost in some way. It's creating an opportunity for us to learn how to restore balance and love to ourselves even after chaos. How to move through this healing journey, to be here now, to be in a place of non-resistance. We're being invited to remember that we can reach out for help, and that if we can stay where we are, remain as unattached as possible and working continually towards detachment, then that place of flow and our creative arrows hitting their mark will come to us. I hope you found this helpful, my friends. Please don't forget to be kind and gentle with yourself. Till next time.